What I learned from my father. In case we haven't met yet, I'm jessxgoh. I'm the sole founder of Life in Confidence. And I have to say, this has been one of the most, how do I say it? A really deep healing journey for me when it comes to my father, out of all of my family members. And there are some incredible insights that I want to share with you from my journey with my father. And even though he's not alive today, he passed away when I was 22. I'm now 35 at the recording of this video. And there was a lot that I discovered about myself even after his death. And I felt that's where the discovery of who I really am came about, was when he was gone. And the thing is this, when we wish for a person to go away, the pain will always come back. And that's exactly what has happened with my father. Even though he left physically, but he never left me. Psychologically, energetically, and emotionally. I want to start off with generational trauma. Generational trauma, gosh, so many of us are walking around with it. It's this deep rooted pattern of thinking and feeling and being, a program that we're not. Trauma that has been passed down onto generation to the next generation, to the next generation, to the next generation, until one generation decides to dissolve it. And it starts with you and me. So what I've learned from my father was that he wasn't able to confront his inner demons. He was a workaholic and a sexaholic. He was bullied by his siblings. He was the youngest out of his family of 13 brothers and sisters. And he came to Australia by himself when he was a teenager to get a high school education there. And I can see why he left Malaysia, the very same reason why my mum left Malaysia. And that's because they felt like an outcast in their own family. So this generational trauma, it showed up within me too. You see, in my early 20s, particularly at 26 to 29, I really role modeled my father's behaviors and his lifestyle. And this is because of generational trauma. Our role models, who are our parents, shown us how to live a life. And for me, the way I witnessed how to live a life was being a workaholic and betrayal, self-betrayal, greed, shame, and addictions. And that's how I lived my life after my dad passed away. I never thought that I would be my dad, but I did. I became him. And when I witnessed his addictions as a teenager, and that's when the marriage between my parents really broken down and the domestic violence really kicked in and the cheating occurred. My dad had an addiction to pornography, where I found porn on his desk, on his laptop, on his phone, where he recorded a hooker having sex with him. I found a condom in his trousers while I was doing the laundry. And goat's weed, which is this herbal supplement that makes a man libido high. And just hearing him speaking to his mistresses in Chinese when I was in the markets with him selling tools. And that really hurt me. I really felt like a slave to him. I was just there to make money for him. I wasn't really his kid. And he can go off and entertain his needs and his desires and neglecting his family responsibilities. And for me, that felt like a massive betrayal. And I see how that played out in my life as well. I was turning to men as a way to feel alive, to fill up this void inside of me, to feel good about myself, that instant gratification, especially having sex, that intimate bonding that you have with another person through the body. And the realization for me was that every time I would have sex with a man, hoping that he would want me as his woman in a relationship, it never turns out the way I want it to be. And I get my heart broken every single time, and I keep doing it. And that is the programming of generational trauma. Because people with sex addictions, they have a closed heart. Why? Because they suppressed their emotions of heartache, betrayal, and shame. And this is how we open ourselves to people, inviting them to the bedroom with an open, leaky sexual energy. And that's exactly what has played out in my life in my late 20s. The other thing was that my dad was a workaholic. So I was programmed as a little girl, teenager, and a young woman to work really hard in the markets, to wake up 5 a.m. every single weekend, to go to the markets, to sell tools. And at the age of 15, I had to start carrying heavy boxes of tools, packing up the store, unfolding the store. And it was a weekend that I wasn't really looking forward to because there was no fun in it. I felt like a slave. And I was so indoctrinated with that slave consciousness of slaughtering myself, working long hours, carrying heavy things. Because that's exactly how my dad operated. And this is generational trauma with the Chinese being slaves to the Western culture, trying to get jobs in the gold rush in Australia and being treated as second-class citizens. And that's exactly how I felt, that ancestral trauma. And I carried that out into my life when I was in my 20s, particularly after my dad has passed away. More so between when I was 26 and 29, that same age again, where I behaved just like my dad. I had a dress business. I sold 2 of my investment properties that were cash flow positive. And I was working so hard in my dress business. It was the first time I've actually run a business on my own. And I've done some side hustles in the past and they did not bad. But this was just heart-wrenching. I didn't make a profit at all. I lost all of my money, all of my wealth to this dress business, and all I had left was $100 in my bank account. And I had all of these expenses to pay, and I was thinking, how am I going to afford the rent? I was living in a shared home. I was in the lowest low of my life. And funny enough, I was dating a married man. I was living exactly my dad's life. I was angry, I was miserable, and I was so numbed out, just like my dad. I was coping the way he was coping with his emotions. I was turning to sex as my way out from the work that I dug myself a hole in. And the beauty of this experience that I went through by living my dad's life, even though I prayed for him to leave this earth, and he did from a heart attack, but he never left me. He came to me through my dreams. He came to me energetically in the family home, knocking on my bedroom door. And he came to me where he hooked himself onto me energetically, just like a shadow parasite or a hitchhiker, an entity that was interfering with my energetic field, until I got that removed last year. And I didn't realize, no wonder I was struggling so hard to be successful in my life, because I wasn't able to unhook myself from my father from the inside out. If you feel that you are rehashing your parents' lives in your adult life, maybe it's a particular parent, like a mother or brother, or should I say father, or a sibling even, or a live-in grandparent, and you are struggling to break free from this old paradigm that you're living a life that is no longer working for you anymore. Like, this is not your truth. That you know that you are far more worthy than this. But you just don't know how. You just don't know how to get there. You don't know how to process the pain and navigate yourself through this jungle and what it takes to get to the other side and experience the light at the end of the tunnel. So if this is you, then I invite you to come and join me and participate in my incredible online immersion called Relationship Recovery, where I show you how you can let go of heartache and relationship meltdowns, how you can bring the adult version of yourself into communication and into light, so you can create healthier, conscious and bounded relationships, and how you can truly show up in divine love that works for you. So if you feel called to do this program, click on the link below and it will bring you to a different page where you can learn more and how you can start alchemizing your inner demons today. If you feel you got something out of this video, I would love for you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, give it a like, comment below, share it with your loved ones. And there's just one thing I want to leave you with. You can never run away from your truth. The truth is not in a person or in a thing or in an experience. The truth lives inside of you, and it's up to you if you are ready to access it.